She described him as wrestling with her like a rutting chimpanzee, attempting to pull off her jeans and forcing her to kick and shout before escaping. Ms. Bannon first made an allegation in a TV chat show in 2007 when Mr. Strauss-Kahn's name was bleeped out. Lawyers for Mr. Strauss-Kahn, 62, confirmed on Friday that he had let the service in charge of this case know that he was at its disposal. The former International Monetary Fund (IMF) director, who was once tipped as a future French president, recently returned to France. He also still faces a civil suit by his alleged victim in New York, Nafissatou Diallo.
Mon combat, il se situe en justice et j'aurais voulu qu'il ne reste qu'en justice, qui est l'essentiel de la raison pour laquelle j'ai fait très peu de médias jusqu'à présent. Maintenant, depuis le retour de Dominique Strauss-Kahn, on assiste à un combat médiatique, puisqu'il a quand même eu 20 minutes, un peu plus de 20 minutes d'antenne en direct sur TF1. Donc il y a un moment où, si on veut rester dans un combat égal, on est obligé de répondre par les mêmes armes.
So why doesn't he describe to the people of France how he was able to convince a woman who had never seen it before in her life to engage in sexual acts with him, as he claims, or as his lawyers suggested during the criminal proceeding? It does not make sense. He will not describe that because he cannot describe it. And although he can deny, we want to know, how did his DNA get on Miss Diallo's dress? How did his DNA get on her pantyhose and on her panties?
He admits to there being a sexual encounter.
He has to. The evidence shows that there was a sexual encounter. What he should do now is to describe his side of what happened. I mean, that's what people, I believe, why people tuned in to see that interview last night, because they wanted to see and hear what he had to say. And he did not say anything about what happened in the hotel room.
Tributes paid to Indian cricketer Tiger Pataudi. Tributes have been paid to the Indian cricket legend Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, who died in the capital Delhi, aged 70, on Thursday. His funeral is being held at his native village in Pataudi, outside the capital Delhi, on Friday. He was the youngest captain in the Indian cricket team history and is regarded as one of the finest ever. Cricketers and media describe Pataudi as a charismatic player who transformed Indian cricket. Pataudi became the country's youngest national captain at the age of 21, months after being involved in a car crash which damaged his right eye. Nicknamed Tiger, Pataudi came from an aristocratic background and was a flamboyant batsman and an agile fielder. The Hindu newspaper called Pataudi as a prince among cricketers. Arriving at a time when India was a perennial underdog in the Test arena, he wielded individual talents into a world-class team and led it with magisterial self-assurance and a rare tactical nous, the newspaper said in an editorial. Writing in the Hindustan Times, cricket analyst Pradeep Magazine said that if there had been no Pataudi, Indian cricket would have taken much more time to graduate into a combative, cohesive unit which played to win and not lose. Lately, he had been caught in a controversy after he shot and killed a rare poor animal, a kind of a deer which is there in the list of endangered animals. China police detained man over sex slaves in basement. Police in China have detained a man on suspicion of imprisoning and raping 6 women in a basement for 2 years and killing 2 of them. Reports said the man, 34-year-old firefighter Li Hao, had dug 2 rooms underneath the basement he bought in Liuang City, Henan, 4 years ago. He then kidnapped the women, all of whom are said to have worked in nightclubs or bars. He was arrested after he let one of the women leave and she went to police. Police confirmed that they had arrested Mr. Lee on 6 September and then an investigation was ongoing. Mike Tyson approached for Indian Big Brother. Former world heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson has been approached to join the Indian version of Big Brother, the BBC has learned. The program known as Big Boss starts in October. This will be the 5th season of the reality show. Bollywood stars Salman Khan and Sanjay Dutt will host the show. Last season, former Baywatch star Pamela Anderson made a special appearance in the Big Boss house and proved a rating booster for the show. The late reality TV star Jade Goody appeared in Big Boss in 2008. Goody died in March 2009 after a high-profile battle with cervical cancer. She learned she had condition while on the show. A spokesman for Colors channel, which airs the show in India, told the reporters that it never comments on who the housemates will be and they are revealed only at the start of the show. But media reports say the deal between Tyson and channel has been signed. We'll move on to the business world. Stock markets fall back despite G20 reassurance. Shares have continued to fall after Thursday's slump as investors worry about the global economic outlook. After opening higher, the main indexes in the UK, France and Germany all fell by between 1% and 2%, while the US market opened at 0.4% lower. This falls came despite reassurances from G20 that it was ready to take action to stabilize markets. Thursday's slump was sparked by a Federal Reserve warning on Wednesday about the outlook for the US economy. Gloomy comments about weak global growth from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank knocked sentiments further. On Thursday, IMF head Christine Lagarde said the global economic situation was entering a dangerous place, while World Bank President Robert Zoellick said he thought the world was in a dangerous zone. Doubts about the strength of European banks also resurfaced on Friday after the head of France's market regulator, Jean-Pierre Jouyet, said there is indeed a problem with the capitalization of banks.
Well, as you reported, I would say yes. I've actually just come back from Europe. I don't see how Europe avoids the periphery dragging the core into recession. Most of the strength in Europe came because of the export boom from Germany, feeding the demand mainly from Asia. And you know, you've got the US slowing, Asia slowing, and I think Europe pursuing essentially Herbert Hoover 1930s depression policies.
Welcome to the world of science. Dead satellites fall becomes a phenomenon. The odds that the falling satellite will kill you on Friday are probably zero, but maybe not quite. A dead hulk of NASA's satellite the size of a bus is skimming the top of atmosphere, and its air molecules bounce off its orbit is decaying until gravity finally pulls it down as a fiery meteor. To be specific, 26 large pieces of the upper atmosphere research satellite, the heaviest about 330 pounds, are expected to survive all the way and hit the surface. The debris will stretch along 500-mile path. At the same time that NASA has been spewing out bland itinerary updates, by Wednesday's evening, North America had been ruled out as a crash pad. The event has turned into a bit of a media and pop culture phenomenon. Just about every major news outlet started weighing in on the impending arrival. On Facebook, people were linking to news stories and adding their own ruminations like wear a hard hat and should we be? And in sports! And in sports! Suit throws open window into Mets owners' holdings and history. Over the 30 years, Fred Wilpon and Saul Cass have owned part of all the Mets. Their business interests had remained largely out of view. Even as Wilpon's profile in baseball grew and Cass were rarely referred to as anything more than real estate moguls who gave generously to charities. The trustee representing the victims of Bernard Elfmeadow fraud, Irving H. Picard, has changed that. His attempt to win $1 billion from Wilpon and Cass, whether in bankruptcy or they prevail in court and keep the Mets a family legacy, has revealed much about the histories and personalities of the team owners and how they made and managed their money. The empire of this inseparable tandem is now clear, stretched well beyond real estate. Sterling Equities, their family-run company, invested millions in things as varied as biotechnology and renewable energy, including a project that turns animal waste into fuel. Wilpon and Cass, his brother-in-law, also own a chunk of hedge fund that manages billions of dollars, and in recent years they held their enterprise out to the public as an expert investment operation. Before we close today's bulletin of news analysis, let's have a recap of the main points. Yemen President Ali Abdullah Saleh returns to Sanaa. Emotional scenes as Burhanuddin Rabbani buried in Kabul. Palestinians to make statehood bid at UN. Pakistan minister hits out at US on Kabul attack charge. French sex attack accuser to confront Strauss-Kahn. Tributes paid to Indian cricketer Tiger Pataudi. And there we end today's bulletin of news analysis. Be with us in the coming weeks too. Thank you.